This is a 2007 Porsche Boxster S, and I'm going to tell you why it is a sports car. Now, I borrowed this Porsche Boxster S from my papa. He just got this beautiful 2007 Boxster S, and it had super low mileage, only at 40,000 miles for a 2007 car. It was such a great find, and he eventually bought it. His dream car was a Porsche. He had a 912 back in the day, and it is such an amazing car, and now he has it right now. But let's start out with an overview of the Boxster. Came out in 1996. That was the first year that the Boxster came out, and it was designed to be a less cost car that rivaled with the 911. It was a two-seater sports car that Porsche added to the lineup, that mainly for people who really can afford a 911. They had this, the Boxster. Now, the Boxster was the code name for it was the 986 generation of the Boxster, and then that design was throughout 2000s. Came up to the 2000s, and in 2005 they redesigned it to this, the 987 generation of the Boxster. So there's the first generation, the 986, and the 987 generation of the Boxster, which is this one. This came out in 2005. This design was used all the way up to the 2012. It had a bit of facelift in 2011, and then now you have your Cayman, and then you have the Cayman, which came out in 2005, and that is the coupe version of the Boxster. So it's the Cayman, which is the exact same car as this, except it is a coupe, and then the Boxster, which is the convertible. In modern days, now you have the Cayman and the Boxster and the 718 Boxster, and the new one that just came out, the 718 Cayman GT4, and then the Boxster Spider. And now the Boxster is now not so a cost-effective car, but it is still a great car nonetheless if you're looking for a Porsche. I'm gonna show you why through its quirks and features to tell you why it is such a sports car bargain. The first thing, which doesn't even have to do with the car, but it has to do with the key fob. Here is the key fob. It's used in all the 2007 Porsches. It's not usually like a normal key. You have the button for the front trunk or the frunk, the button for the rear trunk, because again the engine's in the middle, and then this button, which is just have a key, one, and press again, it's locked, press it again, it's unlocked. So there's no traditional lock and unlock button. It's one button combined into two actions. Pretty cool. In the interior of the Boxster with the center console, you notice that yes, this is a manual, however there are no cup holders whatsoever. None. There's a storage bin, there's another storage bin, there's the top control, and then this. Where are the cup holders? That's because the Porsche way back in 2007 is over here. There's a little drink icon right here. You press the dash, the trim lowers, and then you can see here are the cup holders popping out of the dash. They're built into the dash. Then all you have to do, if you want to keep them out, put them out, this trim goes back, and then you have them stuck out like this. If you want to put them back, simply push them back in and put it back like that. Super cool feature. Sadly though, they are phasing this out. I know the Cayman still has it, I know the Boxster still has it, but the 911s do not have this anymore. With the new 911, they're now integrated down here, which is really disappointing. To the glove box, which is a very interesting place, because you can see here that there are these slits. You have the normal glove box space, but there's these things up here. Well, these are CD holders, so if you want to hold CDs in there, you can hold your prized possession CDs in there if you ever choose so. You can hold CDs like your Beethoven or whatever. And then this is a pen clip. So if you are in needing of a pen, you can open your Porsche Boxster glove box to find your pen. However, I don't know how many pens there are that are that size, so that's kind of interesting. To the door, which as you can see that there are absolutely no door pockets in this car. Well, that's because, again, Porsche integrated it into the side doors. There's this giant side door compartment, like you see I have my hand in here, but it's a giant side door compartment where you can, put things. And there's not just one on the driver's side, but there's also one on the passenger side. Very interesting to see this, but yes, these are the compartments for the door. I mean, you can fit an entire thing in here. It's very cool. But that's very interesting, at least that there's no side door pockets, but that means you can at least shield your stuff in your side door pocket, or your side door bin, as I should say, in your box. On to the seats of the Boxster. These seats are actually the optional seats. If you get a Boxster, you won't have these seats. It's optional. These are the GT3 race seats with the hard backs and everything. I really love the look of these seats. These are the seats you find like GT3s, 911 GT3s. I think in the Boxster GTS there is the GT2 RS. But you notice that since these seats are like completely taken out of them, you can put them back. Porsche didn't want to do anything, so you can put them back. But what's very interesting is that there's nothing behind here. It's nothing. It's just a shelf or something like that, which is kind of interesting. Additionally, you can really put nothing back here, but additionally there are these things, which a lot of people think that these things are for like racing or airflow, but it turns out they're not. They're just speakers for the Bose audio system. I want to show you how to start this car, because obviously it is a Porsche, so there are different ways comparing to start it like a normal car. First, it is a manual, and then make sure it is in neutral. Then you have to put your foot down all the way on the clutch. Or first you put the key in, but then you notice that the key doesn't go on the right side like every other car ever made. The Porsche way to do it is put it in on the left side. Now, you might be wondering, well, why in the world did Porsche put it on the left side and not on the right side? There is actually some history behind Porsche having it on the left side. So basically, if you want to know the story, I'll just tell you really briefly. Porsche, as a company, went into a race called Le Mans, 24 Hours of Le Mans. It was hosted at in a racetrack in France, and Porsche, and they had this thing called the Le Mans Start. Ford, Ferrari, I think a couple other companies competed in it, and Porsche had the brilliant idea to do this thing called a Le Mans Start. So the Le Mans Start is basically you have the key in the ignition already, the drivers have to run to their cars and then start the engines, put your seatbelt on, close the door, then drive off, right? That's what the Le Mans Start is. So Porsche had the idea of putting the key on the left side so the driver can start the car before he puts his seatbelt on, make sure it's a neutral, la 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 la. So that is why they have it on the left side, and because of this feature, they've actually won the Le Mans. They actually won it, I think, a couple times back in the day. And this is why it's in the left side. There's no other car, no other Porsche model that has it on the right side. I think the only cars, I think 1 year the Macan was on the left side, but to this day, the SUVs, the Caymans, the 911s are all on the left side. Very interesting. Now, to start it, all you have to do is put your foot, make sure it's in neutral, put your foot all the way on the clutch, and turn the key. Next quirk I want to show you guys is the top. And the switch, they put it the opposite way. So to put the top up, you have to push the switch down. So once you push the switch down, you can see that amount of seconds the roof comes up and shields you inside. Now, unlike every other Porsche model, you have to latch it down yourself. In 2007, this is the way you did it. You had to latch it down yourself. If you want to put the top back down, you press this. It's a bit finicky. Hold on. Let me get him back in a second while I try to figure out this latch. It's kind of like 2 hands, but the latch, you pull this down, that unlatches the brackets up here. You push it up, and then in a matter of seconds, the top comes down. That is very confusing, as I said, but for some reason, this is the way that they decided to do it. Interesting quirk is the gas gauge. As you can see, it's measured in fractions. So check this out. So you can see the gas gauge is measured in fractions: 0, 2/4 instead of 1/2, and then 4/4, which is a full tank. I do not know why they decided to choose fourth, but I guess that's the Porsche way. Now, two other quirks is that these two buttons. This button is to turn the traction control off. You can turn it fully off. That's Porsche Stability Management, or PSM. You can turn that fully off so you can get some good wheel spin. Or this button, which if you push this, a little roof spoiler pops out. you can see. And you can actually, it's actually adjustable, so you can put it back down, hold it, put it back down a little bit, and you can lower it to your liking. So I mean, I find that kind of cool. But yeah, it has a roof spoiler, which, I mean, you can't go wrong with the roof spoiler. They're always very cool. To do with the interior is the gauges. You can see that they're floating gauges. There's like this mesh up here that like makes them see-through. I don't know why, but again, Porsche design like this, and I think it looks kind of cool. Let's take a look at the front of the car, and specifically the front trunk. There's two ways you can actually open it. From the key fob, you can hold the button, and it obviously pops open. Or the way that you could do it is in the inside of the car. They stole this out of the 911s. You can see it kind of looks like a 911. Same thing with the key. This is the same key with the 911. And rather than changing the shape to make it look like a Boxster, they just use the key for the same key. And same thing with this. So they use a lot of parts out of it. But anyways, or you can pull the switch, and that pops the front trunk. And all you have to do is stick your hand under here, pull the catch, and you have your front trunk. It's actually surprisingly big. You have your DVD player thing, and then you also have more stuff out here. This is where you fuel your windshield washer fluid, and it's actually a pretty nice, decent space for this kind of car. Close it is very simple. Drop it down, and what you're all going to be saying about this. With having a trunk panel like this, someone can really just reach in and grab it even when you lock the car. So close the door like your manual is, lock your Porsche, and you can see with the top down, someone can really just reach in and grab it from inside. Porsche thought of that, and when the car is locked, these two things are automatically disabled. So if you lock your car with the roof down, which I don't even know why would you have the roof down anyway, when you leave the car anyway, it disables itself. Very neat feature. But now let's look at the back trunk. So again, you can pull it from there or with the button on the key fob. And since this car is actually mid-engine, there are two trunks. It's the only Porsche sports car that actually has two trunks. And you can see that back here, there's a lot of space back here. I mean, you can fit a nice small suitcase. And I mean, it's actually pretty interesting. Over here is where you will put your oil and your coolant. If you're ever wondering where you put your oil and your coolant, that's where it goes. And it's actually a pretty decent sized trunk. Combined, this is a very nice looking daily or something if you're ever thinking about having that. But closing it, very simple. Latch it down, push down, and simple as that. These vents actually do two different things. On a 911 Turbo, they feed air out, but this one does something different from the passenger side. This one feeds air right into the air filter, and then the other one has a fan blowing air out of the engine. So they actually do two different things, which is now a nice feature that Porsche did when they redesigned the Boxster. They got rid of those stupid egg-shaped headlights that they had on the original one. They actually redesigned it so it more looks like a Porsche. It's circle now, more circular, instead of these stupid egg-shaped headlights, which is nice. Another interesting quirk about the Boxster is the gas cap. The gas cap is up in the front, and it is a lockable one. So if you have the key on you and if you lock the car, this won't open. If you have the car unlocked, this will open. All you have to do is push this, and as you can see, it's open. It is in the front, so it's 50-50 weight distribution. And if they did put it in the back, since the engine's in the middle, you don't want that the fuel tank close to the engine. So since it is a rear drive sports car, the gas tank is in the front. Unlike other supercars, for example, a Lamborghini Huracan, they have a gas separation system from the engine, but the engine's like literally right here. It's like on top, it's like right under the top here, which is kind of interesting. The final quirk is with these things on the outside surrounding the license plate. These things and these things. Now, if you look on a European spec Boxster S or a Boxster or any Porsche, these things won't be on it. This is because that the regulations of America say your car has to be a certain length. And when Porsche designed this, obviously Porsche's German, they're in Europe. So they designed it for the European market. But when the car got to the port, they stuck these things on it. This is so the car is longer. As you can see, like if you can look at side profile, the car is just about longer with those ugly humps in the back. But yeah, the car is a little bit longer now with not so much, but the car is a little bit longer with those humps. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's true. Those humps make the car longer. This is Porsche's not the only car company that does this. When Bugatti sends cars to America, they come with these ugly little. I'll put a picture up like right here. And in the end, Bugatti owners who bought that $3 million car don't want to have two little black humps on the back, so they just, remove them. However, Porsche, you can technically remove them. However, it's kind of hard because now they're attached onto the bumpers. So you have to get the Porsche tool to remove them. But I mean, it looks decent. It doesn't look, as pleasing, but it works with the US spec market. And those are all the quirks and features of the Porsche Boxster S. And now I'm going to give my final thoughts about it. And this car is really a sports car bargain. This exact one is definitely a bargain. It only has 40,000 miles on it for a 2007 car. Super, super low mileage. But I want to talk about the pricing on them just because obviously if you're going to be buying one, you know how much a bargain it is. So if you're going to be looking for the 986 Boxster, the one that was released around the 1990 to 2003, those are going to set up for like the ones with high mileage, I wrote 120,000 miles on them. You can look at around $5,000 to $7,000 to $8,000 for them. However, if you're going to be looking for for a nice one of a 986, they're around around $15,000, $17,000. So a nice one, but really nice ones go up to 20s, 30s, like really low mileage ones. These are a little bit more expensive. If you really like this one, which I personally do, these are a little bit more expensive. The pricing on these for like a high mileage one is around $10,000, $15,000 for like 120,000 miles, which is say. But if you want to look for a nice one, it's above that. This one was $21,900. So again, a little bit pricey, but it's not that pricey. But again, it's so much car for what you're getting. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please consider subscribing to this channel. And comment what you think you like about this car. And let me know if you want me to do any other cars in this description. But thanks so much for watching. Peace.